I'm jealous. I'm gonna fully disclose here. I'm super jealous. When I was in school, we did not do fun things like this. Welcome back to a wonderful review of Wonderful Precure. Here we are on episode 21. I actually remembered the number today. And turning around very quickly from our last episode, we move to Yuki going pool, which this has probably been one of the most enjoyable episodes in the series for me. I really like this episode. It's very cute, and I think it, again, when I was talking about having that transition of everybody kind of melding into the team, this is another good, just like baby steps, slow transition that just works really well. We start off with Yuki using herself and joining the classroom, and then we also have her flavor of hijinks compared to Komugi, which I think is really well done because she seems to know more about humanity than Komugi does, but she is still a little bit of a goober herself. I love that Komugi immediately is like, friendship, girl. Friendship, come sit next to me. Woohoo, we're here to play. We're here to have fun. Even though that's not what school is. I disagree. School was 50% social and 50% learning. I do love that she just sat in Mayu's seat with her. That was precious. I love the level of like misunderstanding they have, but it really works. It was so cute. And then she sits there and goes to the poor like NPC next to them and is like, hey kid, get out of here. And Komugi's like, yeah, join our quad. I mean, I have to look. I think does she not just get in the desk in front of Mayu? But like, I'd be so funny if this kid was like, okay. I also love the bit where they addressed Wonderful because it was one thing that bugged me too. As a cat person, I was like, oh, I guess this is the dog seat. It'd be really cool if it was the cat seat. So I love that she's like, Wonderful sucks. A dumb pun. I can't be saying something cringy like that. I adore her. And then she's like, yeah, being a human's super easy. Like, look at me go. First of all, don't know how Miss Ma'am like has all these Chinese poems memorized already. Like, where did she get those? Where do they come from? Of course, we saw the beautiful photos that she did of Mayu. And then also her acrobatic skills, which of course, I mean, she's been showing those for a while now, but she gets to show them to everyone else, which is fantastic. I also love that she's like, I'm Mayu's cousin. And then we do embroidery. I'm jealous. I'm gonna fully disclose here. I'm super jealous. When I was in school, we did not do fun things like this. I always wish we had done home ec or something in school because I wanted to learn how to bake because my baking skills are really bad. My cooking skills, on the other hand, are quite superb. But my baking skills are very bad, and I blame school for not having any kind of home economic kind of class. Like, all of them are like, yeah, we have embroidery. Why don't I have any cool classes like that? I would even do a class where I learn how to do taxes. Like, anything that's not just basic education. I need real world skills. Not that embroidery is like a skill that I need, but I would love to have it. I'm jealous. I also like that for as skilled as Yuki is at everything, I'm glad that they did not go the stereotypical route of like, oh, I'm jealous because this person is instantly really good at all these things. Like, I'm glad that that's not included here. It's a bit of a pet peeve of mine. I'm glad it's not included. And of course, thing 1 and thing 2 over here, not being good at embroidery is super adorable. I love like the Komugi squiggle, and then I can't even remember off the top of my head what in the world. He was supposed to be Iroha. Komugi made. Oh, precious. Also, this is like next level because I'm actually trying to figure out what all is in this food because Yuki in the middle of the night decided to make like the most decadent bento box under the sun. She also made like 4. Like, girl, who's eating all that? But also, where did she get like the sushi grade fish and everything else? Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the shrimp thing. Like, is that like noodles topped with a shrimp and cucumber wrapped in something fried? What are we doing? I also like, there's like these little, are they supposed to be like panda or like cat shaped little onigiri in the bottom right? I don't know. I love it when they just have these like food things. They like just let the artist go off and make some food. These are super cute. And then she's like, well, Mayo, I know you have food, but I will be feeding you. I'm trying to remember because I think we introduced, oh no, Komugi's family knows about Komugi being a dog human. I'm hoping we'll eventually introduce Mayu's mother to Yuki, human. And then we have the drama kids. These 2 kids who are like, we are gonna be a little bit more than background characters this episode, and try to get Yuki to join the drama club, which she ultimately refuses to do. I wonder if that will come back in a future episode. I feel like they worked hard enough to make these characters stand out a little bit, so potentially in a future episode we'll have our friendos join the drama club. But for the most part, Yuki is like, nah. We finally switched gears from being comedic to being a little bit more serious. as Yuki's like, yeah, if Mayu's not doing it, why would I bother? At which point Mayu finally puts her foot down. She's like, hey, you came to school and everything. You think you might want to make friends? You know, get to know everybody? To which Yuki's like, nah, it's all about you, girl. I gotta protect you. That's the only thing that matters. And we very quickly transition into a scene where we're going to explain what that's all about. Again, all of them talking about embroidery class. I didn't get embroidery class. Why is their school so much cooler than mine? I'm so upset about it. Look at Satoru doing a really nice, like, literally, they don't give us a Daifuku moment in this episode. We don't get the real Daifuku. We just get embroidered Daifuku. This poor rabbit. So, we could just put him on screen, have him sneak into the school. Daifuku, where are you? Have you seen this rabbit? And then we get to the more serious note, which is the fact that we saw back when Mayu first had her first school episode, that she had some school trauma at her previous school, but we didn't really know what it was. And we kind of get that peeled back now. And it all kind of stems from her whole, like, concentration bit. Because Mayu does that whole thing where when she's in the zone, she just doesn't hear anything and completely, like, envelops herself in her work, which that has implied to have ruined relationship before. And that is why Yuki is very protective of it. But I do, again, really like how intelligent this series is, in which Yuki immediately understands that Iroha is different. Iroha sees Mayu for who she is, and she isn't upset about it. She, in fact, goes to say that, like, oh, she, like, gets really enveloped in her work. That's really cool. She's cool. And I think this is a good trigger for Yuki realizing, which I think Yuki has picked up on and has just not really, like, been fully on board with yet, but has noticed that Iroha is a little bit more attentive and a little bit kinder to Mayu than others. And then Mugi's just a +1. But we have this really cool transition where we go into the backstory, in which Yuki explains precisely what happened to small Mayu, which is that Mayu had a friend who, I guess that school also did embroidery. I guess everybody got embroidery class in Japan, and we don't get that in America. No embroidery here in America. No cool stuff for us. But she had a friend who she was trying to make a handkerchief for, but she got so distracted by her work that her friend thought that she was ignoring her, and it led to the friendship falling apart, which I think this is one of those poetic things where it makes sense that this alleged other friend that she had doesn't really have much of a presence. Like, it's just supposed to establish our sad TM backstory. So the friendship just kind of off-screen dissolved, leaving Mayu very heartbroken and upset. And one of the things I also really like about this is that it feels like there's a level of, like, neurodivergent that's inside of Mayu's story, where, like, her whole concentration bit is some form of neurospicy going on there, but also the fact that this is unique from other stuff we've seen in Precure. Like, I feel like with so many seasons under our belt, it's really hard to, like, you know, continue to come up with original content, but I also feel like talking about, at least in, like, implying it, even if they're not going to put words on it, having this level of, like, a neurodivergent plot line and addressing, like, how other people have, like, maybe had troubles with it and whatnot, it's very unique from what we've had, and it's very fresh, and I feel like it's very relevant to, like, modern issues. But I'm very happy that I'm really happy with this plot line. And then Yuki ultimately explaining, like, hey, this is the problem with, like, Mayu has had, and I'm worried that it's going to just ruin other friendships because people can't just understand how she is. But also Yuki opening up with the fact that she's like, well, you guys aren't attacking her for it, though. You guys are still being her friends. And just, like, this is the moment where she's truly connecting with Iroha and Komugi, which she has not done thus far in the series. Like, she's finally beginning to realize that, like, this is different. This is not sort of the same history that's gone on with Mayu up until. And of course, Iroha bringing it home with, like, her very, very accurately friendy moment here of, hey, our friendships won't fall apart. Like, at the end of the day, something like this is not going to, like, make us all magically hate Mayu. And also, we get it. Like, you communicated to us, we understood. I think there's also a level of, like, emotional maturity you can have when going from being, like, 10 years old to, like, 13 years old. Like, there's a level of, like, children get better at dealing with stuff like this and acknowledging this stuff as they get older. And then, of course, we have Satoru, which I also think this is one of the big benefits of having a character like Satoru, or just having, like, another character in the group dynamic, because while Yuki, Komugi, and Iroha are, like, talking it out and figuring it out, you do have Mayu kind of, like, wake up from what she was doing and, like, go into a panic, being like, did I just lose friends? Like, have that, like, trauma there. But you get somebody who also is just, like, very emotionally intelligent, such as Satoru, who's able to sit here and communicate to Mayu that, like, hey, it's all good. And even, like, you know, tell the reassuring thing that needs to be told, but, like, we have the benefit of not having to, like, have any sort of misunderstanding or miscommunication or any other, like, emotional turmoil for the rest of the episode, since we've done other things. Satoru's like, yeah, she thought you were cool. Iroha was was completely fine with the way you were. Like, your friendship with her is not over because of this, and it's like nice. It's very well written, and it's such a good use of the characters. Because again, other series, I feel like we have these large casts of characters, and people just kind of like, depending on the episode, we just like bench characters and they just say nothing and are just present. Here, I feel like every single character is being active in the story some way or another and adding to each plotline, even if the focus is not on them. Like, this is not like a Satoru episode. This is not like a heavy Komugi episode, but like both of them have presence in the episode and they contribute to the storyline. Really nice. We have this bit though where like immediately Yuki and Komugi, per usual, are able to detect the Garu Garu, but they do so in class and the teacher's like, hey, what are you doing? I love that the teacher's like, yo, you guys gotta stop being near the window. We have to, you crazy kooky kids need to get back on your seats and study. And then we have our panda Garu Garu use yawn and cause the entire classroom to fall asleep. And then I'm guessing because Komugi and Yuki are animals, like they're a little less susceptible to the sleep, which is again good usage of the fact that they're not all the same. And oh my god, this is a cute moment for Komugi, like kind of bringing in for what she is not doing. Like, I feel like Iroha is really carrying the emotional and lesson learning of the episodes. Komugi being comedic and sort of being like the glue that kind of holds the team together, but is not like the leader in the sense of like not really like leading the story, has been nice. Like she's kind of like, I'm gonna make a really vague reference. It's like Wally West in Justice League, where it's like the comedy keeps the team together, like the backup leader, but like she's still the main character. I don't know. Trying to make my little rant. It may or may not make sense, but she does this whole little song and dance, and it's really adorable, and it's such a dumb little bit. She manages to resurrect Iroha, only for her to like be like, all right, plan for Satoru, strangle. Poor Satoru. And then Yuki attempts to awaken Mayu, of course. He's like, keep that dog away from a girl. This was funny. I do like that Komugi's like, hurry up, Iroha, it's time to transform, and like smooshes her with the wonderful pack. And then, oh my god, the latter half of the episode is great because we get so many blue scenes, all these blue-green scenes. I'm like, yes! These backgrounds, like, purple and pink are fine, but as a blue girly, I love these backgrounds. I still don't understand why we didn't get duo transformations for Friendly, Wonderful, and then have a group, like a team, like a duo transformation for Nyami and Lillian, but nonetheless, these backgrounds for their final pose is great. And then Mayu coming up with Nyonderful instead of Wonderful as like season rename immediately. We can change it. We can change the world. Overall, it's a beautiful background. I love that. And then Satoru in his like sleep state attempting to like acknowledge our typical thing, which is it's a panda. Pandas sleep a lot. We gotta stop the panda. Also, this scene, like, dang, the panda bear absolutely annihilated. Poor Wonderful. And then we also have, like, the drama. Like, I'm starting to understand why you guys are going in the drama club, because, like, this is the most dramatic fall asleep moment I've ever seen. And then they do a little pinch bit. Because at first I thought the two of them, I was like, are they fighting? When I saw this image before the episode aired, and I was like, oh no. Like, they're staying awake, but I was like, but they're fighting a bear, and I was like, ah, it's a panda bear. It makes sense now. The whole yawning bit, it's all coming. But yeah, it's very Doki Doki Precure if you've seen that episode. And it's cute because they're like pinching each other awake. Like immediately they're like, we're on the same page. We're pinching each other. We're gonna do it. Like just the team synergy. And then we get to see Nyami's transformation with the cutie animal, which I don't remember if it was like, I guess it was exciting when they do it with the wonderful or with the friendly tact. But I feel like this was way more like epic for the Amity tambourine. And we do confirm that it was Nyami that ended up using the kitsune and then transformed. With this funny little bit, which I wonder if this means every time that they use the Amity tambourine to use the kitsune animals, if they're going to use the power on someone else rather than themselves, or if that's just a bit for the kitsune. I don't know. I'm interested to see how that goes. It also looks like she's about to like flick. She's about to flick Wonderful. But of course, we have now unleashed hell on earth with whatever this is. Oh my god, Tired Komugi is like terrifying. But it magically pacifies Panda Bear, so you know, we take our win. And you know, ends with a cute little battle. I guess the goofy silly battles are goofy silly, and I definitely think that the solutions to the battles are as ridiculous as like the miraculous ladybug ones, because those are also like left field when it comes to however we're going to pacify the enemy. But it's cute. It ends nicely. And then we get to see, I was wondering if we were going to have the Kid and Nico trunk by Nyami and Lily, or if it was just going to stay with Friendly and Wonderful. But we get to see a blue version, and I was like, this is something. I love my little, like, triangular crystal background that, like, has this like glass shard thing going on, and then these two look adorable, and then Lillian opening the trunk is super cute. I'm sold. Also, they wanted to switch the embroidery. I forgot to mention that earlier. But we finally get to see the success of that, with obviously Yuki and Mayu giving really good ones, and then we see these these interesting little amalgamations, and it's Mayu's so happy to trade with Iroha and know that this like friendship is not fragile, is going to be a significant, long-lasting friendship that's precious. And then we see the Yuki, aka Snowman monstrosity that Mugi has made, which we get to see the world's cutest laugh from Yuki. She's a precious bean. I also, again, I do not like some of these sassy archetypes for characters that are like standoffish but sassy. Like I'm gonna say I'm not a Curious fan, but I really like how Yuki is quieter. Like she definitely has a little bit of a standoffish nature, and she is, like, objectively speaking, better at a lot of things than Komugi, but she's not a jerk about it. She just kind of states it as a fact rather than being like, well, obviously you should know how to be a human. It's more like, yeah, I know how to be a human. I observe. Like, she's not as sassy as I thought she might have been, and I'm fine with that. I like the flavor of kind of Ojo-sama that she is, which just makes the series more enjoyable for me, and it makes it really easy for me to finally have a character like this that I love. I really love Yuki. She's adorable. And look at our beautiful little team. Like, it's so cute. I also like that Yuki and Komugi are getting closer. I like that we're finally establishing some kind of friendship where they get along. It's, again, I don't love it when characters fight a lot, but we haven't been having, like, the typical bickering fighting that we've had in the past for Precure. So seeing Komugi and Yuki, like, have a little bit of a stint with each other, but not really have it be overly aggressive is nice. It's really refreshing. I super, super love the season. I love its uniqueness. They've really been bringing it. The lighting in this episode also was fantastic. I really love a lot of the bloom effect that they use on the characters. Just overall, it was a really good episode. They've really just done a great job with progressing this series and just establishing the team. I think the only thing in the series that's been weaker has been the antagonist, but I also think compared to like Kidogaru Sky Precure again, they've established a little bit more backstory to our antagonist than we did before. So I feel like this has just been like a super well-rounded season that I don't have too many complaints about. I think it's really solid. And I'm very excited to see where it goes because, I mean, we're starting to get into an area of like, well, we now sort of have the team together. The team is very close to being able to fully get along with each other. Where do we go from here? What happens next? I don't know. We'll see. But hoping that our July slew of episodes will not be... I'm hoping they'll be exciting as we move towards the mid-season, because I think whatever they decide to do with the mid-season cures or not, is going to be a huge... It's gonna really make or break whether I like this season as a whole, because I feel like seasons that are strong in the first half tend to be weak in the second, so I'm hoping we stay strong all the way through. But anyways, that is my feelings and thoughts for Wonderful Precure episode 21. I hopefully will be able to get an episode out next weekend, and then I'm on vacation once more. So keep an eye out for that, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!